When Argentina's military rulers sent their armed forces into the Falkland Islands in 1982, Admiral Sir John Forster Woodward, known universally as Sandy, was given arguably the most important British military task in decades. He assembled a Royal Navy task force which set sail for the British territory with orders to recapture it. As they crossed the 8,000 miles of the Atlantic, he spoke to the BBC, while diplomatic efforts trying to avoid military conflict went on.
No one for years has been put in a position like this. You've got a vast force, a lot of power. How do you feel about exercising it?
I don't know how much power I've got.
Well, firepower is
but I'm
very
the executive. I've got a lot of firepower. Yes, okay, fine. I now know what you're talking about. Yes, I've got a lot of firepower, and if one is given the authority to use it, then I'll use it to the best advantage I can with the training I've had and with the assistance and skills I've got available to me.
That training and those skills were required. He'd bluntly warned those he commanded they would lose men and ships. They did, but they also succeeded in retaking the Falklands, despite the Ministry of Defence's own pessimistic assessment of their chances.
The fact was it was a maritime war from beginning to end, and until the Navy made it safe for us to land, there was no point in trying to land. And once we landed and carried out the fighting, all the time we had to be supported by the Navy, fed by them, supplied with ammunition, protected by them against the Argentine Air Force. So without them, all the battles on land would have been totally irrelevant because they wouldn't have actually happened.
What kind of a man was he to work with?
He was quite a tricky guy. He was very clever. He was a bit schoolmasterly at times. And so he was not an easy person to get on with, I have to say. And ever since the war was over, he and I used to have friendly spats from time to time. But I admired him enormously because he was highly courageous, he was very cool, he was very brave, and he did the right thing.
After the Falklands conflict, Admiral Woodward rose to become Deputy Chief of Defence Staff. On retirement in 1989, he didn't entirely disappear from the public eye, speaking out in 2011 about his anger at the axing of Britain's aircraft carrier and Harriers.
I'm concerned to make sure our politicians realise what's happening here, and quite clearly, and to tell the islanders that we have them in mind. I certainly have anyway. I don't know whether our politicians have to the same extent that I have.
To date, the Defence Secretary said Sandy Woodward will be remembered as the Fighting Admiral, while the Prime Minister described him as a truly courageous and decisive leader to whom we are indebted for his heroic command. James Hurst, Forces News.